Greetings YouTube and welcome to the Blue Corner. Well, the September ban list has finally been announced and, well, Konami has definitely taken the hammer to a lot of things and I'm going to be discussing them and giving you guys just a quick analysis. I'll try not to make this too long. Needless to say, the top decks definitely did get hammered in some way and they gave a lot of tier 2 and lower decks a chance to try and be played again. This is going to make for a very interesting first week of the meta, given that YCS Toronto is on the first day of the new format. So pretty much everyone is limited to only Duality Network as their test grounds, and what happens at Toronto may shape what's going to happen for the next couple weeks. So let's get on to this, shall we? Banned! First we got Future Fusion. I admit, it's going to be really sad to see this card go. I mean, it helped me a whole lot while I was playing Disaster, and it's a really good card for Gem Knights, but at the same time, Chaos Dragon just pushed this over the top, and a Hero Lives heroes were abusing the hell out of this too. So, sad to say it's gone. It probably will never come back, and yeah, I'm going to miss it a lot. Brionac, Dragon in the Ice Barrier. This one got some people by surprise, but it's more or less a preemptive strike by Konami because they fear that he'll create too much abuse with the Atlantean monsters. And they got grounds for that because he's an easily summoned level 6 and his effects will cause there to go off. So you pitch a marksman, you pop a face down, you pitch an armsman, you pop a face up, you pitch a seahorse, you get any sea serpent from your deck to your hand. As long as you have a spell card in your hand that you can just set and reset, you can just have Brionac bounce that card, get Atlantean effect off, and then just rinse and repeat. So they just got rid of Brionac now before it became a major problem. And I say, you know what? Good job. If they're going to do that kind of stuff, I'm all for it. It's just, if Brionac was going to be such a problem, then why couldn't they do the same thing with Wind-Up Hunter last ban list? But yeah, those are your two ban cards. Just only two this time. People were expecting 4 like Monster Reborn and Heavy Storm and such, but like I said, they weren't going to touch those cards because they're getting reprinted in the Legendary Collection 3. So yeah, Reborn staying for another format. And so is Sackluster Soldier, unfortunately. Limited cards. Chaos Sorcerer. Now they limit this guy, which catches some people by surprise, and it actually hurts Chaos Dragons a lot more than you think, because Sork was one of your best outs to wallers like Wind-Up Zenmaity, Stardust Dragon, and that kind of stuff. Sork just got rid of that stuff. And now having only one now forces the deck to hold on to him just a little bit more and save him for when you really need to get shit out of the way. But Sork at 3 was just too much in general. I think he might have just been better at semi like he was a couple of years ago. But yeah, the card's just absurdly good, given the amount of milling that we have and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, good job there. Hopefully he'll go back to 2 next ban list, but we'll have to wait and see. Inzektor Dragonfly and Inzektor Hornet. You knew they were going to do something to these guys, but man, they really came down hard. I mean, just whack Dragonfly, whack Hornet, just wow. I don't know if the deck is dead, but I would say it's about as hurt as plants were last format. Which is funny because this ban list gives plants a hand, so I would not be surprised if Inzektor players hop off that bandwagon and go start playing plants now they got their precious Spore back. That's right, Spore's unbanned, and while Formula Synchron didn't get unlimited, another card that I listed in my previews and my prediction video also happened. But yeah, Spore's off the list, so plants I guess are officially back. There are people coming up with plant decks, so you can expect to see some form of plant madness in the upcoming format. Whether or not they'll be tier 1 or if they'll get Raffle Stomped by Rabbit remains to be seen. Also coming off the list is Tsukuyomi, and wow, I've been calling for this one for a while now, and this might be used in a lot of decks. I don't know how it will be used, but I'm definitely going to be running one of my Chaos Dragon. It's going in over one of the Sorks. It's an easy out to Thunder King Ryo if you can get to it, and yeah, I look forward to seeing how people are going to experiment with this card. Evigishki Gustkraken. I am surprised at the number of people who didn't have this on their lists. I mean, I admit I was a bit hard saying it should be outright banned. I also said the limit would be fine, but I'm like watching these YouTuber ban list videos and not one of them mentions Evigishki Gustkraken. I did, and guess what? Konami realized that it was a bad card too, and so they hid it. They hid it because of Hieratic being able to knock cards out of the hand on a pretty frequent basis. Now, is that deck dead? I won't say it is, because you can just simply max out on Vision, Evigishki Vision, and you can play salvages to recycle the Vision so you can have full tributes for Gustkraken, but it's definitely not going to be able to knock out as many cards as it would before. I'd say 1 or 2 tops, because you can go Tribute to Hieratic to drop Gustkraken, you get the vanilla, you overlay into Solemn Sacred Tolem as M7, you detach Gustkraken to get Shadow back to your hand, you then put Mirror back into your deck to put Gustkraken back to your hand, you then pitch Shadow to get Mirror from your hand, and then if you've got another Hieratic or another Gishki monster in your hand, then you can drop another Gustkraken. So, yeah, Hieratic Gishki is by no means dead, but it's definitely not as consistent as it used to be. And I would definitely consider teching 1 Gustkraken in my standard Gishki deck too. Wind-up carrier Zenmaity. Bad hit, should have been Hunter, but at least they were doing something. The deck can still loop cards, and it can still spam Xyz. Magician and Shark exist, so windups are definitely going to be a tier 1 deck, but don't think otherwise. And as a result, you better hold on to your Maxis, because plants are back, windups are still around. Those are 2 cards you're going to want to side in for those matchups. Ultimate Offering. Like I said, this card is just too good at 2. It's like a Future Fusion in Gadgets. If it goes off, there's no way that deck should be losing. Now they can't put out rank 4 spams as easy as they could. An MST will kind of solve that, and they're going to have to be a bit more cautious in how they make their pushes, but the deck is still going to be good. Gear Gear Gadgets I definitely think are going to be an almost tier 1 deck. It'll definitely be one of my choices to run over the course of the format. And then the last card on here is Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. What? You're expecting me to flip out? No, I'm not going to do that. I've had plenty of time to be butthurt over this. I don't like it. I definitely would like to see him at 2 next format, but yeah, I'm not going to freak out, be all butthurt, and like make a huge rant. So, yeah, let's move on. Really? You really want me to make some kind of hilarious note like I've done before? Alright, fine. For the sake of comedy, I will put in a hilarious overreaction clip. Roll it.
Oh, no, that can't be! Lion County's the fastest! There's no reason to live! Where's my tire?
It was all I could do to not just break out laughing. Oh, I missed that show. Anyway, semi-limits. First up, we got Blackwing, Kalut the Moon Shadow. That's alright. It's not going to make Blackwing's tier 1, by no means in the imagination. No, they need World 1 to go up to 2 for that to happen. But it will make them a pretty good tier 2 deck. The Agent of Mystery, Earth. I like this a lot. Agents... Oh, they were pretty much unplayable last format with just 1 Earth and only 1 Striker. The TG Agents is probably still not going to be played, but Pure Agents or even Teleport Agents, I think that might be an interesting deck to run. Debris Dragon, I said it could come back to 2. It's not nearly as broken as it used to be. The only good Dragon Synchros that are really left for it to make are Black Rose, Stardust, Scrap Dragon, and Iron Chain or Orient Dragon. Orient Dragon may see a little more play now that plants are playable. Rescue Rabbit. He was not going to go to 1, people. I told you guys this before. They're going to go the same route as they did Cat. 2, then 1, then banned. And they're probably going to see how he's going to work it too. Because they do want Japan to be able to experience the stupidity that is turn 1 Logia and then turn 2 Dolka. Although that might be a little more difficult now that Tour Guide from the Underworld has been semi-limited. To which I say, thank you! This card was just way too much at 3. 1 card Xyz. Pulling hanging out of the deck. It just frankly was overkill. A Hero Lives. You can thank Japan for that one. A Hero Lives glad we're doing nothing here in the TCG. Hieratic Seal Convocation. I don't like this. They already put Red MD to 1, which already makes the OTK style Hieratic unplayable. I mean, they can still OTK, just nowhere near as before. Convocation, that kind of hurts the control builds too. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Hieratic. I think they'll still be playable, it's just they're going to have to evolve like you would never see them. Power Duality, I don't like this. It hurts every single non-super aggro deck out there, like Heroes, Gadget, Stun. I was actually looking to build Rock Stun this format. I might still, but yeah, I don't like Duality 2. Apparently, though, Konami's wanted to hit this thing since last September. They just couldn't because of those tins. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Duality 2. I know what I'm going to be running over my Duality that I have to take out. Now would be a second Mirror Force. Who called it? Who called it? I believe I did. I believe I said that Mirror Force was absolutely garbage right now. The Torrential Tribute at 2 is a much better card. So why is Force at 1? Guess what? It's at 2 now. I'm definitely going to be running this in my stun decks. I don't know what 2 Force is going to really do because smart players don't really let themselves get caught by Mirror Force. It's a 1-for-1 against good people, but it's so much more against bad players. It's definitely going to be something that may ultimately not see play as the format goes out, but for the start, oh yeah, it's going to be run in a lot of decks. Starlight Road has got itself another target to work with. You got 2 Force, 2 TT, Dark Hole, and Heavy Storm. 6 cards that can trigger Starlight Road, in addition to Black Rose Dragon. Interesting. And then lastly is Reasoning. I have no comment on this, as I was not playing during the time that Reasoning was at 3, along with Monster Gate and that kind of stuff. That was during my hiatus. Now let's get to the Unlimits. Marshmallon, shitty stall card. Swords of Revealing Light, shitty stall card. Little of an Area B, shitty stall card. Magic Cylinder. This one I'm not exactly fond of, due to the fact that it's one of those cards that will get you when you don't expect it, especially when you're playing like some kind of random person. Like, okay, I've got this attack with card trooper for game at 1900, flip up Magic Cylinder, oh, you're sitting at about 1500, you lose. I'm like, oh. And that's how those bad players get wins against like decent players. But and then again, it's a pretty lulzy troll card as well. I might run Cylinders again in Kokuenden, I'm not too certain. Emergency Teleport, possibly a revival of certain decks, Teledad, Teleport Agents, Teleport Plants, Teleport Hieratics. There's a lot of things you can do with 3 E-Teles, a couple Krebons, a Psychic Commander, and God knows what else. I mean, Pure Psychic's just got a huge boost. You've probably seen WK Dad's deck that he profiled like a couple days ago. That looks amazing. I would definitely like to play around with that if I could get my hands on all the cards. Destiny Draw. Sure, let's give those guys a bit of a bone. I mean, Malicious is not at 3 on here, so you got draw power for D-Heroes, Diva Heroes. Now that I think about it, doesn't this make Fortune Lady Hero decks really good? I mean, now they got another form of draw power, and that deck is like draw power up the wazoo. The last one I want to talk about is Necro Gardna. Now, I think it's been said before, but Lightsworn have slowly been getting much better over the last couple of lists, and 3 Gardna is a huge boon for the deck, and honestly, I'm probably going to play that deck. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I'm going to be playing Lightsworn. I have multiple reasons for wanting to play Lightsworn. One is very personal, that I will get to someday, but needless to say, you will see Lightsworn on the blue corner at some point. Now, what is the meta going to be? This is going to be interesting because we have a YCS on the very first day of the format, which leaves only Dueling Network as a means of testing decks under this. My initial predictions are Dark World, probably one of the best decks because they got nothing touched by this list. Dark Worlds were not hit at all, and neither were Laval's, and they're going to be coming out in a couple months with their Super Foolish Burial card. So you got Laval's, you got Dark World, Raven and Heroes are still very good decks. You've also got Plants and Windups. Windups are not dead by any stretch of the imagination, so you got them. Chaos Dragon I still consider a pretty good deck. Now you may think, oh, that deck is dead. Oh, you're wrong. In my next week in the Dragons, I'm going to be showing you guys the 3 decks for Dragons that I think will be good in the format. I've already gone and made some changes to 3 Dragon decks, and yeah, I'll go over them in detail in a later video. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this discussion, and frankly, this format is going to be very, very entertaining. I'm looking forward to the decks that I can play and the decks that I'm going to be going up against. We've also got Abyss Rising with Atlanteans and Mermaids coming out. Prophecies are going to be very good. Madolce is going to be very good. Cosmo Blazer, given that Rekindling was not touched at all in this list, that means that they've probably got some kind of fire archetype coming up in that set that's just going to completely bust Rekindling. So overall, I'd say this format's going to be one of the best we've had in a long time until Cosmo Blazer comes out. Until then, things will be fun. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, take care.